Many times I have been confronted by people who would ask me some superstitious questions. People be asking me if I've seen a mermaid before. I mean, there are so many questions I've been confronted with. But to be honest, well, I wouldn't want to tell because there's this saying on board, whatever happens on board stays on board. A lot of people believe that a lot is going on at sea that sailors are not talking about. But well, today, I will just tell you one of those. What if I told you that sailors undergo these initiation rituals, inducting them into the secret hall of King Neptune? Now, according to the Roman methodology, King Neptune is the god of the deep, the oceans, and sailors undergo a certain kind of initiation or rituals that inducts them into the secret hall of King Neptune. Today I'll be talking about this. I'm very certain to some persons this is just new. To some persons it only confirms their superstition. They'll be like, yes, I used to say something like this. There's something about sailors, right? Today you're going to hear it. If you stick around to the end of the video, you're definitely going to hear the full story. And meanwhile, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so now. Click that subscription icon, turn on the notification, and leave your comments at the end of this video. Whatever you think, just leave comments. So I'll go into the details of this initiation rituals. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. I will be right back. Welcome back. So let's go straight and talk about this initiation. To some persons, like I mentioned, this is entirely new. But to us sailors, it is not new. I mean, it is something that we've been keeping for a long time. I can tell you for a fact that a whole lot of people have undergone this ritual but have never spoken about it. Now, this ritual is called the line crossing ritual or the line crossing initiation. And it is dated as far back as 400 years ago by the Romans. Like I said, King Neptune is the god of the deep, according to the Roman methodology. Now, why did they do this? You know the equator, right? Yes, that imaginary line that separates the earth into two equal parts. That means the north and the south. You remember that from geography, from high school. Jog your memory a little bit. Well, yes, that line. Now, you see, to some persons, it's just an imaginary line. To sailors, it is not just a line. Outside of the fact that it plays some vital roles in navigation and rotation of the earth, it also has some spiritual, maybe spiritual implications. Far back to the days of the Romans. Now, let me tell you, every time that the Romans, particularly, that is when this ritual started, had to cross from one part of the earth to another part, that is from north to south or from south to north, they usually will undergo this ritual as a way to seek the consent of King Neptune, that is the god of the deep, crossing to another part of the earth through the ocean. They seek the consent, seek his blessings and his protections. Now, failure to do that, it is believed that some consequences comes with it, like the sailors might not make a safe passage to the other part of the earth where they are going to, or some bad omen is going to befall them. This is why it is crucial for every sailor back in the day to always undergo this ritual. And somehow this ritual has been passed from generations to generations. I mean, like I mentioned, it is dated as far back as 400 years ago, and it has been transferred up until now. Now let's get to details. What do they do exactly? On the day before they get to cross the equator, these guys, they actually call them Pollywogs or slimy wogs. That is the people who haven't crossed the equator before. They are brought before King Neptune. Now, the captain, who is the highest ranking officer, usually acts as King Neptune. He dresses in a costume like King Neptune and he holds his staff. You know that staff, yeah? They are brought before King Neptune and they are given charges that they want to sneak crossing the equator to the other part of the earth without seeking the consent of King Neptune. Usually they'll try to defend themselves, but man, you're before King Neptune, you can never be innocent. You'll always be found guilty. Now, at the end of that trial, They will take them around the ship in their white shorts. They do not wear any shirts, and some dirty water will be poured on them, calling them all sorts of names, and they will take them to the forward of the ship. They all kneel down, and each of them gets to receive one broken egg on their heads. An enchantment is going to be done according to the tradition, and after then they will be inducted into the secret hall of fame of King Neptune. They'll be brought back to their accommodation, and a very big feast will be held in their honor. So they can be called trusty Shellbacks, and usually they issue them a certificate, a diploma. On that certificate you have some images of King Neptune, some skulls, fishes, of mermaids, and afterwards they are usually given some nicknames. Some could be called dolphins, some could be called seahorse, some could be just called one of those many sea creatures. For some persons it is just fun. For some persons it holds a spiritual implication. But don't ask me if I've done it before. So moving from being just a slimy work and becoming a crusty shellback, shellback is like the least of these ranks. There's shellbacks, there's crusty shellback, which is the lowest, there's royal diamond, which comes second, and then there is emerald, which is the highest of rank. Let me explain. Now for the diamond shellback, when you get to cross the equator, you need to cross at a particular point. The captain has to set the course for you to go through that point, for the ship to go through that point. Now, what is that point? There is a line that is called the international date line. It is also an imaginary line. It runs from the north down to the south, if you look at the image of the earth. So for you to become an emerald shellback or a royal diamond shellback, you must cross at the point where there is an intersection between that imaginary line, the international date line, and the equator. You must cross between at that point of intersection, and then you can be named. Now for emerald, yes, you must have crossed it many times, and not so many persons have been able to cross this line so many times, or cross at the point of intersection between the international date line and the equator. Well, for some of us, we are just, yeah, for some of our sailors, yes, not me included. For some of us, before you start thinking and start asking me some questions, please don't ask me, okay? It is very interesting. For some persons, it is fun, it is something they look forward to. For some other persons, it has some spiritual implications. I am currently on the Indian Ocean, and in few days we are going to be crossing the equator, and some newbies, some slimy works, some Pollywogs will stop answering Pollywogs. They will be inducted into the secret hall of King Neptune, and then we can consider them real sailors. We can trust them because we know they are now one of us. So guys, I hope you found this revelation interesting. Just leave your thoughts, what you think about this video, about this revelation, in the comment section. Like and share, and if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please go ahead and do so. Turn on your notification so you do not miss out on anything. My name is God's Great, and this is the Sailors Lounge. Until I come your way next time with another revelation. Stay tuned and be good.